A first for you, a first for everybody. With this bubble community that's being built in Indianapolis is what I assume is happening with Virginia right now. One of the teams out of the ACC that would expect to be in the dance next week. Now out of the ACC tournament, they have to test negative for 7 straight days, which would be in time for March Madness that is going to begin on a Friday after the first 4, if you will. So what do you think the committee will think about this? I mean, how do you factor all this in with what's going on with Virginia, Joe?
Yeah, I'd like to say that there's some precedent here,
Right.
but of course there isn't. And I think, just from a counting standpoint, Virginia could also be given a first-round pairing that plays on Saturday.
Right.
Either Friday or Saturday. I mean, I suppose, taking it to an extreme, they could play the last of the 32 first-round games at, 10 o'clock Saturday night a week from now, or a week and a day from now, and that would give, what is the defending champion from the last time we had a tournament.
Right.
You're right. The greatest opportunity to, test their way back into playing. But as I understand it, they have to make that commitment to the NCAA. There's a deadline, and I don't know whether, at what point does the NCAA go to one of its 4 kind of standby teams who are going to be identified on Selection Sunday as well. Nobody's talking either from the Virginia side or the NCAA side because they probably didn't think about the scenario quite this way. I'm reminded of the year where there was a tornado at the SEC tournament, and games were canceled at the Georgia Dome, and the University of Georgia ended up playing a quarterfinal and a semifinal in the same day, one at Georgia Tech, one back at the Dome, and eventually then on Sunday won the automatic bid. Like, talk about taking it down to the wire. I don't think we're going to know about Virginia on Selection Sunday. At least there's a possibility that we won't.
And before we get into, seeds and teams, first team in, last team out, and all that, last team in, first team out sort of stuff, things are different for this tournament where the first round, the round of 64 and the round of 32 is going to be a Friday and a Saturday. And then the second round is going to be a Sunday and then a Monday. And then the Sweet 16 is a Saturday and a Sunday, right?
Yep.
So it's going to go Friday through Monday first weekend. And then second, Sweet 16 is going to be a Saturday and Sunday like I guess we're used to. The Elite Eight is going to be a Monday and a Tuesday. So things are a little bit different, but what do you mean for those who might not know that there's going to be, I guess in case of COVID, break glass, 4 teams that have a bubble, I guess, popped, but they're hoping for a pandemic chance? Is that literally what's going to happen here?
Yes.
Joe?
Several years ago, the NCAA, actually as part of an antitrust litigation, became the controller of the NIT as well. And so the NIT committee is basically given its 4 number 1 seeds by the teams identified by the NCAA committee as the first 4 out. So those first 4 out will be, if they choose, kind of on standby, and they can be added to the NCAA field as late as the Wednesday before the first 4 begins next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
First 4 begins next Thursday. The full bracket next Friday. Like you, Rich, I'm confused by the new calendar.
No, sure.
But, our body clocks have been set this way for, since 1985.
Right,
so,
which is what your book's about.
Forgive
too.
us.
Yes.
And let's say Virginia decides to go, or the NCAA agrees that they can go, but then something else happens between Selection Sunday night and Wednesday, and Virginia has to opt out, then the first team on the contingency list is going to go in Virginia's spot regardless of seed. because they're not going to redo the whole bracket the night before teams are supposed to start playing.
So somebody that's not on par of the caliber of Virginia might get Virginia's seed spot, essentially, is what you're saying.
And take it to an extreme. Somebody could get, team number 69 could get Gonzaga's spot. Right?
Wow. Right.
But realistically, what more could they do? It's better than a forfeit or a no contest or a walkover, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Nobody said this was going to be perfect. Nobody said it was going to be fair. And, it was a year ago today that they canceled the whole tournament.
Right.
So, I'm trying to look at the cup as half full.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.